It's a beautiful day here in Seattle, Washington for round 7 of the Major League Rugby competition. The Seattle Seawolves can Houston prevent a fourth?
It's going to be tough, Mark. They're going to call for another sellout crowd here at Starfire. But if Houston comes out with a great kicking game and they can break that seawall defense, they have a good shot. It looks to be a great match today.
It does indeed. And Seattle's last home game was against Rugby United New York, and there was one particular standout player, Brock Stall at the right wing for the Seattle Seawolves. A 70-meter effort at least for his first try of the match. And then that second try was a beauty. Ben Seamer at number 10, crossfield kick. Staller was there to pick it up and score his second try. And we have Jessamine McIntyre with him right now.
And those 2 tries last week made him the league's top scorer. Brock, you've got a new look lineup though this week. What kind of adjustments are you guys going to make with the shuffle in the back 3?
No, we have to take rest into consideration with the upcoming weeks. We're only a quarter of the way through the season, but we brought Sequoia in and Peter to fullback. I believe in their abilities, and we should be fine in today's game. Starfire
Sports is widely known as the most electric stadium in Major League Rugby. What do these fans do for you out there on the pitch?
They bring that energy for us. You know, it just helps us win. It helps us get behind each other. There's nothing like playing at Starfire, and we're really excited for the atmosphere, especially with the sun today. It should be a good one.
All right, thanks so much. Good luck tonight, Brock.
Thank you.
And let's have a look at the standings through week 7. We can see Seattle are in 5th place. So if they win today, they'll find themselves in playoff contention and up toward the top of the ladder. Well, we're excited about this match today here at Starfire Sports. Don't go anywhere, folks, as Seattle Seawolves take on the Houston SaberCats in just a moment.
Now, welcome to the field, the reigning and our champions, your Seattle
Now, ladies and gentlemen, in a Starfire Stadium and Seawolves rugby tradition, we sing the national anthem of the United States of America.
Major League Rugby and the Seattle Seawolves are brought to you by Virginia Mason Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, exclusive medical provider of the Seattle Seawolves. Discover more at virginiamason.org/ortho. Virginia Mason, be remarkable. BECU is proud to support the Seattle Seawolves, the 2018 Major League Rugby champions. BECU, you own it. And Ivar's Seafood, Seawolves, it's the perfect match. Ivar's restaurants have been serving up award-winning seafood since 1938. Stop by Ivar's for Seattle's original seafood. Welcome viewers to Starfire Sports Stadium. The Seattle Seawolves are running out to a packed stadium yet again here. And here is the lineup of the hosts. Kevin Swearin is joining me. Kevin, talk us through this lineup.
Well, we got a couple new guys in the starting lineup with Dan Trueweller, Kellen Gordon starting at the front row. They've gotten minutes in the past, but look for them to set the tone early. And you've got a shuffle in the back three with Pete Tiberio slotting in for Matt Turner. And it's looking like they're going to be a good group.
And only two changes to this SaberCats forward pack, with Cecil Garber being promoted from the bench wearing number 7 jersey, and Alejandro Nieto gets his first Major League Rugby start at 8. Despite an injury scare to scrum half Connor Mills, he returns to keep this Houston backline unchanged from last week's game against New York. Our man in the middle today, Paul-Henri Corbier, the Flying Frenchman. Referee and man in pink will be calling the shots. Very appropriate colours for Pride Day here in Starfire Sports Stadium. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are moments away from kickoff here. The Seawolves of Seattle take on the SaberCats of Houston. And Ben Seema gets us underway. SaberCats asked to bring it out from deep in their territory. Murphy puts it high into the stands. And that's a relieving kick from them.
Just getting settled into the game here, Mark. Get that ball out, get the 22, get it into touch, and Seawolves have a nice attacking platform with this lineout. This is one of our focuses here on the game, is how well they can keep the lineouts going. Seattle, that is.
And they've won their first one. Seema finds one of his many big forward runners through the middle, same way for the Seawolves. And it's a break here by Rusalika. Looks to get the pop away. He doesn't. Takes his medicine. It's now Tucker. Brings it down 40 metres out from the SaberCats try line. Just recycling possession, settling things down, the Seawolves. Seema. Now out to that left wing. Setting up again, coming back midfield. Little pop over the top. Keeping the ball alive well here, the hosts. Quick ball now. It's a missed pass and a big tackle coming in. Kolinasau comes to turn it over. Came in from the side. It was actually Vithi.
Vithi came in, just kind of came around the side of one of the Seawolves players there. You know, easy call for the referee to make, and watch for points here from Brock Stoller. Get him on the board early.
There's the league's leading point scorer to add to his tally here. Should have the distance here, Kevin.
Yeah, Brock's known for slotting them from the side on his conversions and penalties, so you know he's got a big, nice, strong leg, and he sure is accurate. So we'll. This is actually a nice lineup one. You know, 38 meters out, about for him to get kind of in the groove for the game. Straight ahead.
I got it down.
Stoller for the first points of the match. 2.5 minutes gone. this to break the seal and get the Seawolves on the board, and he has done that. Beautiful kick from the right winger, Brock Staller. 3 points to 0 in favour of the Seattle Seawolves, defending champions in this Major League Rugby competition.
So Houston's going to want to kick it deep here, just get it into their end of the territory, and hopefully, watch Seattle make a little bit of a mistake so they can get back into their end, put some pressure on them.
Windsor sends it high, down the throat of Hatting. Brilliant run from the South African. Coming in midfield, Maikatini. Slowing it down a little, the SaberCats. Seema, the missed pass, and it's picked off, and that's going to be an easy try. The first try of the match, in fact, no.
Got a penalty, offside penalty from the ref. So they unfortunately, Houston, unfortunately, picks that pass off. It was an errant pass by Ben Seema. But, they were fortunate to have the advantage, and they'll call it back and kick the touch.
Ben Seema clearing the lines. Probably breathing a heavy sigh of relief there, Kevin.
Yeah, that's too early for a mistake like that. Nothing they couldn't have overcome, but, yeah, those are gut killers. So now Houston's going to come back and have to play some defense in their own end.
Truweiler now gets it in. Tap down nicely, known for their strong line outs, but that one goes backwards, so it's play on. There from the scrum half, JP Smith puts it over the top. It's a foot race, and the ball will win the race to the dead ball, so it'll come back to a 22-metre dropout to the SaberCats. Lovely break there from JP.
JP is a solid player. He's actually known more for his stability and quick ball out of the ruck, but you see he'll take his moments when he can, and that was a perfect time for him. He saw the gap, he gave the show and go, and he went through it very cleanly.
22 restart goes high into the hands of Eric Duchel, the beast. He's affectionately known as Seema. Throws a dummy that time. Thinking twice about throwing those missed pass on the line with the SaberCats racing up in defence. Over the top now, can't be contained. So it's Truville, the captain, that cleaned up.
You've got a knock on here for the errant offload by Billy. He's good. He's trying a little bit too much there, Mark. He got one of those off earlier, just a few minutes ago, but you want to get those. He's known for being able to get that ball out of the tackle pretty quick, but that was a little bit too much in that moment.
The SaberCats right on the halfway line. As the crowd chant for their Seawolves. Extremely formidable place to come here and play rugby if you're an opposing team. The SaberCats looking to turn their season around. Very tough ask against a team that is on fire. 3 home wins from 3 so far as the ball goes high from the boot of Windsor. Colin Asau gives chase. That's well taken by Seema. Did not take his eye off the ball. And into Duchel. 1 out, just settling things down. Trying to earn a little platform before the clearing kick, but it's been turned over. So the SaberCats see what they can do now with this opportunity.
They've got space in the back, and they don't see it, but they're going to keep rucking up.
Here we go now. Little dummy from Diva. Good hands out to Truville. Finally brought down on the 22-metre line of the Seawolves. SaberCats looking sprightly early on. 7 minutes gone. Diva again, getting involved. There's a few touches for him already. Colin Asau comes in to support. No, it was Vithi, but it's turned over. So a little too slow in support there at ruck time.
Mark, it was interesting, right? Because I was watching the first few phases before that, and everything was slow. They're really having a hard time get the ball out. Houston needs to get their rucks faster. Their support players need to get to the ruck a little faster so that they can clean those guys out quicker and get the ball out faster. All those things. So they're just a half a step behind right now in their rucks. So they can get quicker ball out and cleaner ball out. And ultimately that's what happens is they concede the penalty, Seawolves get out of their territory, and now they're on a great attacking platform. They're in a line out here just inside the Houston's half. And as a back line, this is one of the best positions to be in. You want to attack with a lot of space because the back three on defense have to play back and look for the kicks.
Straight over the top, and that's a missed pass into the hands of Pat O'Toole. So that was a rare missed line-out throw. Triweiler. Vithi straight through, looked to pass, and now he does to Colin Asau. They're going to score the first try of the match. Wonderful play from the turnover at line-out time. The SaberCats on the board, 5 points to 3.
What a great try from Houston. Wow, they took the line out. We called this one of our keys. Are they going to win their lineouts? Boom, nice solid run. You know, they take him down, but you see Seattle doesn't get around the corner fast enough, and Houston exploits them. Nice run by the winger there, and he finds his Fijian brethren to finish it off, Osea Kalinisau. What a try by Houston. Take the lead in the game early on, 10 minutes in.
Well, Kevin, you mentioned that Fijian connection. Joshua Vithi, born in Fiji, 25 years of age. He's got plenty of rugby left in his career. And Colin Asau, of course, the Olympic gold medalist, most capped ever player for Fiji Sevens.
Which, that says a lot. I mean, you have a lot of phenomenal, legendary players playing for Fiji. I actually had the honor of playing with Osea in France at Agen, and one of the hardest working men I've ever played with. Just fittest, strong, and he works his tail off. So no surprise there that he was in support for that try.
Yes, but how is his French, Kevin? That's what I want to know. Wins it for the conversion. It's waved away.
We can ask him after the match. In French, of course.
So 5 points to 3 now in favor of the visitors. They have the lead after 10 minutes of play here at Starfire Sports Stadium. If you're just joining us, you've already missed some spectacular action. I'm Mark Stabina, joined by Kevin Swiren. Spent the last 10 years here in Seattle. Kevin. And now the SaberCats look to bring it out of their territory. Windsor deep in the pocket. Comes slightly off the side of the boot. Not a bad gain. So line out, 40 meters out. Just as we wait for this throw. Let's look at the Seattle keys to victory, Kevin.
First, they got to win their lineout, which they've done. They lost one that turned into a try for Houston. They got to attack the breakdown. They've done that. They've gained a penalty. They've slowed things down. They got to have that bend, don't break defense, that seawall defense. Give up some yardage, give up some meters, but make sure that they're not breaking those, letting those tries in.
The Seawolves now on the charge, up over the 40-meter line of the SaberCats. JP Smith gets it away now to Tucker. He's supported well. Not the quickest ball that they're used to having. Suniul out the back, gets it out through the hands. Crunching tackle, two-man tackle, in fact. Coming back now, midfield. The Seawolves back down the short side. Seema sees something. Dummies. Finally gives. And now in the hands of Sequoia Burke-Coombs. Oh, pressure on JP there. Looks like it might have been turned over. They maintain possession. Still going, picking and driving. Seattle looking ominous. Numbers to burn out wide. Seema sends it to Suniula. He dummies and finally gives over the top. Colin Asau nearly intercepts. And Staller, with his magic feet, brings it back into his support. Still in possession now, the Seawolves, full of confidence. Triawila, about 8 meters out from the SaberCats try line. Suliula over the top, little dummy, coming back in. That was Hatting. And that's batted down. It'll be play on, seam of the link. Finds Suliula, steps off the left. Holds on. Still with the ball, but it spits out. It's going to be a knock on from the SaberCats. So it will remain in possession with the Seawolves.
I'm actually really excited for what we're watching here. Seawolves generally this season have had a really struggle early on in the games finding their face play. You know, that was a 10, 12, 14 phase sequence, keeping ball. They had a couple issues, but they moved down the field 30, 40 meters. Really, really good job by the Seawolves, promising for their attack. You know, if that can continue, that's tough. That's tough on Houston to play defense that many phases. And so, you know, you'll see how that plays on them later in the game.
Definitely much more fatiguing playing defensively for long bouts as it is to attack. Mentioned by USA Eagles 15-7's legend Kevin Swearin. Absolute pleasure to have.
There's only one legend in the booth, Mark, but yeah, it's definitely good to be calling the game with you today. And a great day in Seattle.
Beautiful.
We have had snow and cold and sleet, and it's the sun's out today, and everyone's happy about it. That's for sure.
You're right, Kevin. We've seen that actually across most of the Major League Rugby games. Snow's been falling the last couple of weeks. I think hopefully we're starting to turn the corner into spring weather. Straight over the top of Seema. Sumulia comes back to clean up.
You won't see that too often from JP.
Oh, a little bat inside. That was beautiful play by Tucker. Penalty. Looks like it was offside there, Kev.
Was it offside? I couldn't see the hand motion, but yeah, offsides again for Houston at the breakdown. Just getting a little bit eager. They're coming up hard. They're hitting. I like what they're doing on defense. You just have to taper that back just a half a step so that they're not getting the penalties called on them. They're really bailing Seattle out, you know, with some of that offsides there.
See the Houston's keys to the game. Sam Windsor has the kicking game to pin Seattle in their own half, and that's where they should try and keep them. They've conceded the least number of penalties, Houston, actually, in the league, and need to keep this going. And if they want to play the territory game, they need a good kick chase, or the Seattle back three will punish them on counter-attack. And now the Seawolves advance from the line out. Comes down, it's collapsed. Need to play the ball. Good run in tight by Rosalika. Now coming out, one out stuff by Seattle. So close to the line, inside 5 meters. Coming back against the grain. Hatting's there, picks it up around his ankles. Not an easy thing to do for a big man. Step inside, inching closer. But the SaberCats holding firm. Spits out now, play on, says the referee. So the SaberCats have turned it. Now it's up to them with the boot of Windsor to get some relief.
They're giving the Seattle team a little taste of their own medicine, right? That seawall defense, bend don't break. They're sitting on their 5-10 meter line, playing great defense and kicking the ball out so they can relieve the pressure.
And the line out is forming. I'm sure
Seattle's sustaining pressure on Houston here, so if we can get, here we're going to see the replay. Little bounce of the ball, Hatting picking it up nicely, and you can see we want to try to get quick ball here as players, as the teammates go, right? But you had a man coming from outside in to clear that ruck, and just had a bad angle. He couldn't get him. Houston turns the ball over very nicely, and then they kick the ball out to relieve the pressure. It's a great job by them. and they need to keep this up. They really do, because Seattle can score out of nowhere. So if they can score under sustained pressures, it makes it really tough to beat them.
Seawolves with the ball now just on the 22-meter line of the SaberCats. Applying plenty of pressure to the visitors. JP Smith sends it back. You can hear the crowd chanting yet again. Big run by Nakatini. He's been heavily involved. Plenty of carries already. It looks like it was turned over yet again, so a little bit scrappy for the Seawolves around ruck time.
They've got to clean it up, Houston, but on the other side, Houston's doing a great job, right? They're coming in, slowing things down, making it a little messy for them, for the Seawolves, that is. And so, you know, hats off to Houston. They've sustained, you know, almost 8 minutes down here on their end defensively. They keep kicking out, kicking out. So you're going to watch them right now inside their 22. They're going to maybe play a phase just to test what's going on with the Seawolves defense. And, you know, maybe play 2 or 3 more phases, kick it out possibly. So we'll see what happens, right? If they get 10 meters on that first phase, they go play. You know, they should go test it out. The nice thing here with Seattle is they're, you know, for Houston that is Seattle is going to have, you know, their back 3 back, right? They're looking for the kick. And so you have less defensive players up front, and that's why you kind of test once or twice. If it doesn't work, you don't play too long down in your end. You don't want to turn over a penalty and give them 3 easy points.
What's interesting is you say that if we look at the lineup in the field position of the Seawolves, Ben Seema, who's normally number 10, is back at fullback. He's the only man back there, possibly to be a return kicking threat. Mills puts it high. Seema's coming in once again. Eyes on the ball and beautifully taken. The crowd like it.
What a take by Ben Seema. Beautiful technique, up in the air, nice and high at its peak.
I think we just found out why they stick him back there in defense. So now the Seawolves bring it up to the 40-meter line. Suniola steps, attacks the line, slammed to the ground. Danger man for sure, he's heavily marked. Seema has an attempt, crawls his way up over the advantage line. Dummy from Smith, Russellika inside ball, beautiful play. There's Tucker, still going Tucker, finally brought down. 10 meters out now from the SaberCats try line. Seattle still tryless in this match. SaberCats have the lead and they're holding on by the skin of their teeth. The Seawolves through Seema, back pass, Suniula over the top, that's a floater. Beautiful pass. Laying it back in through Seema. It's been a wonderful link man for them. Driving, coming in support, getting up over the 5-meter line. Oh, and it's knocked on. Again, very uncharacteristic stuff here. Charge down, but we're going to come back for the original knock on. Well, Kevin, what do you make of these early errors by the Seawolves?
It's uncharacteristic. They usually can keep the ball in tight and keep it for many phases, but Houston's doing a great job. So right here, it's a great little offload. You have a big drive by your forwards, and you want to get quick ball out of here. It's a little bit slow, and we have just our number 2 coming in, Dan there, you know, I think a little uncertain of where he was going with the ball. But fortunately for...
We'll get a water break. Don't go too far, folks. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the commencement of the second quarter. Welcome back, viewers, to Starfire Stadium. Seattle Seawolves are hosting the Houston SaberCats in round 7 of this Major League Rugby competition. The players are all hydrated, and we're about to commence the second quarter of the match, and it's actually the SaberCats, the visitors, who are leading this match with the only try of the game. I'm Mark Stabina. If you're just joining us, welcome. I'm joined by Kevin Swirin, USA Eagles legend, 7s, 15s, you name it, he can do it all.
You only get to say that.
I'm going to keep saying it, Kevin. You're just going to have to receive it.
All right, thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. But
what do you make of this first quarter so far?
Well, I think, Houston has done a phenomenal job on defense, really, truly. And Seattle's got to find a way to get into the try zone. They just have to. They've had a lot of time down here with territory and possession. So it's a matter of if that can keep up. And Houston's playing the territory game. They're not messing around down in their end. They're not trying to have a 1 and 2 go. They're just getting out, saying we're going to play solid defense. We're going to play that bend don't break defense. So I like the idea, playing smart. They're just playing smart territory rugby right now, Mark.
They are, but at some stage, I'm sure they'd love to get the ball in their hands again. All this tackling, as you mentioned before, Kevin, could be extremely exhausting as the Seawolves find themselves once again in possession at line-out time. Beautiful take, comes down to Duchel, straight through Duchel. This is what he does best, and it'll be a straight run to the line for the Beast. He reaches, did he get it? Referee says no. Sensational stuff as the Houston SaberCats bring it away through O'Toole. The crowd can't believe it. Kevin Swerin can't believe it. And the SaberCats are on the counter-attack. Vithi slips. Oh, the crowd are stunned. They thought it was a certain try. Houston yet again denying the Seawolves that elusive 5-pointer, and it's a penalty. So that'll be a piggyback out of this red zone.
Oh, Mark, it's one of those gut-wrenching, just painful ones to see. It's a beautiful first phase play. Eric Duchel breaks the line. It's a great tackle by the winger there. And Eric just reached out just a little too far, a little too much. He could have pulled it back and brought it to his own team. So he goes for the try, he knocks it on. It's a great play by Houston, saving tackle.
Let's go down to the sideline with our sideline reporter, Jessamine McIntyre.
Guys, one of the things that you'll notice in the nature of this match is the scrappiness, the chippiness. These guys are getting that extra shove in after a play, and you'll hear a lot more words used than you normally would, and a lot of that stems from the fact that so many of these Houston SaberCats are actually former members of the Seattle Saracens. These guys know each other. They know how to get under each other's skin.
There's plenty of feeling in this match for sure. Already in this early exchange, and Windsor nearly slips through. Crawls another couple of yards up to the advantage line. Same way, flat pass to Vithi. The man who single-handedly saved a try, as Eric Duchel for the Seawolves was in for all money. Penalty now to the SaberCats, and they've elected for a penalty kick, so they could further their lead by another 3 points here, Kevin.
This is what I love, Mark, about the game, right? You have almost 20 minutes of possession and territory by the Seawolves. And here you're going to watch Houston, very likely through Sam Windsor, who's got a beautiful boot, go up 8-3 here. And the scoreline doesn't show what the kind of the game's looking like, but hats off to Houston. I love the style of the play that they've got going on. Now, can they sustain it for another 60 minutes? That's really what it comes down to.
Stick around, folks, and you shall see if they can or not. But right now, they extend their lead. So the SaberCats maintain their lead 8 points to 3 over last year's champions, Seattle Seawolves. Let's go back down to Jessamine for some more comments.
Well, guys, after that Eric Duchel no try, it's no surprise that stunned is the face that you'll see of the Seattle bench. You can see everyone just couldn't believe that short try went unearned, and hopefully they'll be able to get this emotion back.
certainly sure that they can, especially with the support of this bumper crowd here at Starfire Stadium. They might be stunned for now, but you can bet your bottom dollar they'll get cheering again.
That won't be the last time Eric Duchel comes on a hard line and probably breaks the line.
Oh, I'm sure he's even more motivated now to make up for that certain try going begging, but at least one satisfying thing, I guess you can say, for the Seawolves is that they are creating those opportunities.
Yes.
They might not be finishing them, but they're getting themselves in that position.
And generally, they're the team that's on the back foot a little bit, playing defense. They could create turnover, quick scores, and quick tries, you know, so the sustainability of their attack is actually really good. It's just they got to finish. They really got to finish. And we're going to watch a scrum take place here just from a little knock-on from JP off that line-out. And this is an area where Houston wants to attack them.
Connor Murphy feeds the scrum just inside Seawolves territory. Another penalty to the SaberCats. Seawolves need to take care of their discipline at the moment. The SaberCats will now get another chance to get deeper into Seawolves territory. Let's have a look at this scrum, Kev.
You got the momentum a little bit there from Seattle, but he's calling the loose head prop, just kind of pulling it down, kind of wrenching down his opponent prop there, opposite it prop. And you know, another penalty, another short time frame for Houston in their end, and they might come away with points again. So they're efficient right now in their territory. They're playing some really efficient rugby, getting the points when they need it.
Sam Windsor, no slouch with the boot. And it's not the prettiest looking kick, and it is waved away also. So score remains 8 points to 3. Suniula looking to go quickly from the 22-meter restart. 28 minutes gone here in this first half.
Yeah, that strike didn't look good from the second and left his foot, which is really uncharacteristic of Sam, but they'll be back down. He'll have another shot. It was a pretty big boot to get that through.
Seaman sends it deep as the sun intensifies late in this beautiful winter's day. Staller does well. On the right wing, Seawolves is settling down. Duchel is met by 3 yellow jerseys. Heavily marked man. Box kick, JP Smith goes up. Colin Asau comes in, and it's play on. So the Seawolves will look to counter. And no, it's towed ahead by Pangelinen. It'll come back though for the first knock on from the SaberCats. Again, a little bit scrappy.
Houston has no interest in playing rugby in their end. You can tell their game plan is get it out. I don't care if we're on the 46-meter line. We're playing on their end, and it's really working. So Seattle there finally, you know, they've taken a little bit of that dose, and they put up a nice high box kick and put a little pressure under Osea there. You know, with the knock-on. So Seattle's going to attack. This is a great attacking platform, you know, from a scrum, and, you know, look to see some really hard, quick lines from their back line. Or you might see the 8-man pick come right, you know, and Brock fill in late, and, you know, and try to look for something down the right-hand side. And then you also have the option of chip kicking. You know, the 9 can pick and go here and just do a little grubber down the sideline.
There are plenty of options available for the Seawolves. Let's see what they choose. Definitely plenty of space, as you mentioned, Kevin, down this right-hand side. Pangelini back in the middle of the field to cover all that area.
We're going to go left.
Under the pressure of an offside Connor Murphy. So while we wait for this penalty, now we have a lot of new rugby audience members out there, so we'll just do a little Rugby 101 for those people watching. 15 active players per game, per team, with 8 reserves that can come on at any time.
Players can play both offense and defense, so play never stops. They've got to have all skills.
It's 5 ways to score. You can score a try. We've seen that already. You can convert the try for 2 points. Penalty kick will be worth 3. Drop goal worth 3. Haven't seen many of those. And also a penalty try, which is worth an automatic 7 points.
And you've seen there's obviously no forward passes that can occur. It's got to be lateral or backwards to your teammate. So you won't see players in front of the ball very often.
That's right, Kev. One feature of rugby over a game like football is that it is continuous. So when you get tackled, it's not everything stops. You get up and start again. It is play on, and anyone can get the ball. But the Seattle Seawolves have the ball from the line out, driving. Finally comes to ground. Back in the area of the field that they need to be. Seaman taking too long with that pass. It was his opposite man bearing down on him, putting him into the turf. It's turned over at ruck time. Seawolves just can't convert their possession at the moment. Murphy, that's a long box kick. Favourable bounce for him, and finally goes over the sideline. So the SaberCats again doing a great job at ruck time.
I love the strategy. Attack the rucks. Seattle loves to play an open style game, so they're going to be a little bit light at the ruck time sometimes, and so they've gone after them, especially when they go wide, 1, 2, 3 passes out wide, and so that's when you're a little bit more vulnerable, and they're taking the ball, which is paying off for them.
Duchel off the line out, makes the gain line, box kick. Seaman looked like he might have been in front. The kicker Smith, and Pangilinan easily takes that one, so that's a mark. Maybe an opportunity now. We talked about rugby for rookies to explain what a mark is in rugby.
Well, that was just a little bit too long of a kick. JP would have wanted to land that kick outside of the 22, instead it goes inside. The fullback's able to call a mark, and he gets a free kick at that point. So a player can't hit him or tackle him. He gets the call back. He's going to kick it to touch because he's behind the 22 and relieve the pressure. So you want that box kick to be just outside the 22 there.
Either that, Kevin, or have somebody that can arrive at the same time to put pressure on the catcher. In this case, Pangilinan had no troubles whatsoever to take that one cleanly, and he's put it up slightly inside Seawolves territory. It'll be a line-out throw, just short of the halfway line, but it won't be a straight throw by the looks of things.
And this was one of our keys, Mark. We really wanted to focus on the lineout. We have Dan coming in, the starter. Stefan has, played a lot of minutes for the club. The typical backup reserves, out with injury, and Mike Shepard. And so you have Dan starting, and you wanted to see, he got 3 good ones early, nice quick wins, but at the lineout. But, a couple stumbles there, one that led to a try, and then now this one, which leads Houston to, set up a nice attacking structure, from their 50, from midfield, and so, it's really important. You got to win those set pieces.
Mentioned the hooker, Daniel Trioweiler, 30 years of age, affectionately known as the Honey Badger.
He's a grinder. He's a good player. He, gets into the grit.
Resetting a couple of scrums already here at Starfire Sports Stadium. Let's see if the 2 backline commentators can analyze that. Kevin, it just looked like
I won't even try it, Mark. I don't know what's going on in there. Those guys are, too big and bad for me to commentate on why they're doing something wrong.
Caught in engine room. Melina Sau now with Beatty, beats one. Can't get away from Seamer at the back, but keeping it alive as Pangilinan now comes up into the 22-meter area of the Seawolves. Murphy to Diva, to his scrumming partner in the front row, Charlie Connolly, gains an extra few yards. Quick ball, looks like it might be turned over, but it's not. Duchel doing his best, keeping it alive nicely now, and that's knocked forward. So now the Seawolves have a chance to clear, but it'll come back for another scrum. Let's throw it down to the sideline again to hear from Jessamine McIntyre.
Guys, one of the things that I talked about already was the energy between these two teams, but Houston came into this match not to be intimidated by this electric Starfire crowd. They've been hearing the build-up and everything, and instead of being intimidated by that energy, they are building momentum off of it. So they're using this home team to their advantage.
And that can be very true, right? You feel that energy. It doesn't matter if it's your crowd or not. You feel the energy as a player. And so, you know, it's something we talked about early on before the game. And now you see their scrum just collapsing Seattle there in their own end.
SaberCats really on the charge now at set piece time as well. So they have sniffed blood, this Houston team, maintaining their lead, 8 points to 3. Seattle a little shell-shocked at the moment, as is this crowd right now, as the SaberCats look to find the space. Colin Asau with some room to move, puts it on the toe. Won't win the race. Seema comes across and cleverly gets rid of that one, but they are under pressure right now, Kevin.
They are struggling to deal with the pressure at the rucks right now, Seattle is, and Houston is doing a great job. It sounds like they're chippy, things are getting chippy on the game and from Jessamine, and so, you know, let's see if they can keep their composure here, because they've had the possession, they've had the territory, and they're losing this match. Houston's doing exactly what they need to as a visiting team. This loud crowd, you know, this explosive, electric Seawolves team. You know, right now Houston is taking advantage of the mishaps, and there are a couple big moments, and they're all going the way of Houston.
They are indeed, as you said. I mean, they're coming in now at 8th out of 9 on the table, perhaps just playing up that underdogs tag. That can be a thing as well. Maybe Seattle taking them a little too lightly. That can easily happen. You become complacent. You look at your position on the table, your current form, you compare it to your opponents, and you can easily fall into a false sense of security. That seems to be happening for me right now.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it can be that. It can also be the fact that, I mean, Seattle's come out hard. They're playing pretty well. It's just the last 5%, the last 10% isn't getting finished. And so, you know, did they underestimate them? Maybe. Who knows, right? Who knows the mindset? But are they missing out on their execution? And I think that's what's happening right now with Seattle. You know, they're missing just that last piece, or maybe the first piece, and they're turning the ball over quickly, right? So they need to tighten some things up a little bit. They have the recipe right now. Houston they got to keep doing what they're doing. If they can keep the ball a little longer and a little more away, it makes their lives easier. And you see a turnover here on the lineout.
Seawolves catching a break there at lineout time. That ball isn't cleared convincingly, so again, Houston will get another opportunity at lineout time on the 22-meter line.
That kick might give us a little more insight as to why Ben Seema's playing in the back as well. You see there, Pete Tiberier starting at fullback, but mostly playing on the wing defensively.
Pat O'Toole to get it in. 2 lost lineouts in a row for the SaberCats. Head coach Justin Fitzpatrick will have something to say about that at halftime, I'm sure. Real opportunity now to
got the advantage knock on.
Consolidate their lead, but goes high now through the boot of JP Smith. Doesn't find touch.
And no chase. Nobody chasing from Seattle.
So we have now VT slipping, heading back the other way, trying to find some room. Very elusive, VT beats a couple of defenders. Well done by him. Same way for the SaberCats. Beecham. To the middle of the field. SaberCats approaching half time. Will they get the last say? Up over the halfway line, the SaberCats. Plenty of yellow jerseys across the park. Windsor elects to go right. He finds Beecham again. Little kick over the top by Murphy. Across comes Seema, and that is well done, winning the race, and that will possibly be the last play of the half. Let's see what the man in the middle thinks about that. He's going to play the line out. So they get another bite at the cherry here, Houston, in prime attacking position.
I was just thinking, Mark, it was interesting, honestly. I was like, this is a no-kick type of position, right? You have no time left on the clock. You're just beyond halfway. You know, maybe you can gain 10 more meters and look for a penalty type of thing. You kick this ball away, no time. Seattle recovers, kicks it out, half's over. But they knew a little more than I did up here, and obviously there was a little bit extra time. So Connor Murphy puts a nice kick in behind, puts the pressure. They get a good chase, and Ben Seema has to run it out. So now they're in a bit of an attacking position where they can just play for minutes and minutes and minutes after the time is expired potentially, and call for either getting a penalty or obviously working to score that try. It's a pretty nice position for Houston to end the half. If they can get this, they're in a very comfortable position leading into halftime.
A little break in play now. Kellen Gordon just receiving some attention.
Right here.
Houston with the ball. An opportunity to go into the changing rooms at halftime with a handy lead. It's a narrow lead at the moment. They have a chance to streak ahead 2 scores, see what they can do as they bring it down for the drive. The Seawolves are there and actually nullify the drive of Houston. Need to use it now. Still driving. Heading toward the sideline. Finally, it comes out the back. It's Mills taking it forward. Good support from the SaberCats up over the advantage line. And again, strong running from this forward pack. Ball goes to Windsor. Dummies, has a look, little offload. Oh, he goes without it. That was Garber. I think he spotted the try line and just left without it. So it will stay at 8 points to 3. Houston, again, they were looking good there, Kevin.
It looked great, actually. They were sustaining pressure. They saved themselves from going into touch on that line out. Sam, he looked for it. It was one of those 50-50 balls right there at the end of the half. And so do you keep it? Do you give it? I think if you give it and it hits the man, he's in for the try. He misses it, unfortunately, and so it's a turnover. And we're still playing with some time here. So, the ref's got a couple more minutes on his clock than we thought. Seattle's going to want to just get it out of here. They might have one little, they might just play this from the back. You see the 10s marking straight behind the scrum. 9's going to get it out. You want a stable platform, get it to 10 and to Ben Seema and kick it straight out. Relieve the pressure.
They probably don't want to mess around too much with this, and they don't. Sending it into the stands. And that is halftime here at Starfire Sports Stadium. Houston SaberCats from Texas lead the hosts, the Seawolves, 8 points to 3. And it's been a very entertaining first half, to say the least. Kevin Swearing, you see the crowd getting right into things here, as they always do.
That's William Rosalika's wife there, just getting the crowd going, Big #1 fan. So it's a noisy crowd, but it's really fueled Houston.
Well, lots of excitement here. Don't go away, folks, and we'll be back just after the break.
Special birthday shout out for a very, very special Seawolves fan. Fans, join me in saying happy birthday to Lauren Barber. Happy birthday, Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our Seawolves Pride Dance Contest. Yeah. Here's how it works. Rookies selected 4 brave contestants who each have 30 seconds to show off their dance moves. We'll then turn to you, the fans, to determine tonight's Pride Dance Contest champion. The winner will take home one of the exclusive Seawolves Pride Scarves. And now the man with all the moves here to MC the event. It is Steve Willis. Steve!
Dave, where are you from? Jersey. Dave from Jersey? Let's see what you got. Come on now, this is a family show, right, Steve?
Last minute try.
Major League Rugby and the Seattle Seawolves are brought to you by Elysian Brewing, the official craft beer sponsor of the Seattle Seawolves. Together, they have released Scrum, an Irish dry stout. Available now. Together, we hunt. And Washington Federal, your banking team partner for more than 100 years and awarded Best Bank by Money Magazine. Virginia Mason Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, exclusive medical provider of the Seattle Seawolves. Discover more at virginiamason.org/ortho. Virginia Mason, be remarkable. And we are at Starfire Sports Stadium, and of course on Friday night we had an international match here. The US took on Canada, their neighbours across the border. And what a game it was as well, Kevin Swear, an exciting match. The US taking that one out 30 points to 25 in the end. Fantastic highlights here. As you see, plenty of excitement, plenty of scoring, Kevin, and Canada would not lay down.
It was an epic battle, you know, of the North American teams, and they've always battled for the years and years, but USA was able to pull on top with a quick, oh, what a try. Just diving over with a quick little dummy to finish the game.
Well, come out and experience the excitement of the Seattle Seawolves Major League Rugby season in person. With tickets nearly sold out to every game, StubHub will hook you up with exactly the seats you want. StubHub is the official secondary ticketing partner of the Seattle Seawolves. Go to www.stubhub.com today. StubHub, be there. Well, it's still half-time here, but we'll be back shortly after the break for more action. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Seattle Seawolves would like to thank all of our sponsors and supporters of tonight's match. Washington Athletic Club, Seattle Southside Regional Tourism Authority, Virginia Mason, BECU, Try Houston. Washington Federal. Lift. Wing Dome. And Fifth Avenue Law. Connect with the Seawolves on social media. Seawolves. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be sure to tag every post from tonight's match and every match with the hashtag #TogetherWeHunt. Don't make it plans to join us back here. Our next match is Sunday, March 31st, the second annual Special Olympics Washington and Law Enforcement Torch Run Night. Let's celebrate all the great work these organizations do in our community. Here is the San Diego Legion travel north. Matchup against your Seattle Seawolves. Catch all the action and score your tickets at SeattleSeawolves.com. All right, fans, let's send it back down to Steve, who's on the field to draw the winner of tonight's 50-50 raffle.
Welcome viewers, it is halftime here at Starfire Stadium. The Seattle Seawolves are trailing the Houston SaberCats 8-3. The SaberCats lead the visitors from Texas. Some exciting stuff in the first half. Let's have a look at a couple of the key moments.
Seattle got on the board early with a kick from Brock Stoller. You know, they really held the ball for most of the first half, but it was Houston actually that with the only try of the first half. Beautiful run by their winger, number 14 there, with the finish by Osea Kalini-Sao, and that gave them the lead, and they've held on to that lead. Sam Windsor added 3 more points towards the end of the half, and there you have it. You know, it's an 8-3 halftime score, but it's been very exciting first half with a lot of breaks from both teams.
Well, we'll be back for second half action after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a moment.
It's time for the second half. Please welcome back your Seattle Seawolves. substitutions. Number 18, John Hayden is in. And number 19, Jeremy Leinart. Replacing Afi Nakajani.
Welcome back, viewers, to Starfire Sports Stadium in Seattle, Washington for round 7 of the Major League Rugby competition. And it's the Seattle Seawolves hosting Houston and trailing 8 points to 3, and they have 40 minutes to turn it all around. And with this vocal crowd, I'm sure that they have great support behind them. Have a look at the reserves.
Seattle's already brought 2 players in at halftime, and they're going to look for their bench to come in and really make a big effort and a lot of energy.
Plenty of experience with the Houston reserve bench, but one player in particular, Diego Magno, is Uruguay's most ever capped player with 84 appearances, so expect to see something special for him when he comes onto the field. Well, we are moments away from the second half commencing here. Plenty of noise, as always, here at Starfire Sports Stadium.
Captain.
The crowd aren't used to seeing this. Their beloved Seawolves trailing by 5 points. They only have one sole penalty kick to their names. With 3 points, Houston scoring the only try of the match, and we are underway.
Inside.
Welcome, viewers, if you're just joining us for this second half. I'm Mark Stabina. Alongside me, Kevin Swearin, USA Eagles 7s and 15s extraordinaire, lending his expert analysis today. And Kevin, what are your impressions of the first half again?
Besides trying to keep up with you, Mark, you know, I think Seattle's dominated possession and territory, but that hasn't turned into points. Houston's doing a great job of just playing that stubborn defense and then keeping the ball when they need to and taking advantage of their opportunities.
So the Houston SaberCats find themselves with early possession, playing with plenty of confidence. Little deflection, but it went forward first and then came off the shoulder, possibly head of a Seattle defensive player. So Seattle with an opportunity at scrum time.
And Houston's had some pressure at scrum time for Seattle, and so you want to see they've actually made 2 changes at halftime. You know, with one being in the front row, John Hayden, and Jeremy Leinart's coming in the back in the second row. So they probably try to get a little more energy, a little more push, perhaps in the scrum. So we'll see how this pans out. First scrum of the second half.
Bind. Sit.
Seattle through JP Smith to Seema. Missed pass all the way across to Suniula. Impressive backline launching attack there. Stoller, the one finishing, and they have made a good 15 meters with that. And here they come, the Seawolves charging. They are fired up. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that changing room to see what Coach Richie Walker had to say. They are playing like men possessed right now in this first 5 minutes. Got some ground to cover, got some points to score, and they look hungry. The Seawolves, 30 meters out from the try line of the SaberCats. Achieving some nice continuity. Salika, little dummy, can't quite get through. SaberCats defense are up to the task, flirting with the offside line as well. They love to get a jump and put pressure on this Seawolves attack. Replacement, Almeida stumbles his way to the 22-meter line. Seema again to Tiberio. Haven't seen too much of him in offense. Maybe he'll unleash toward the latter part of this game. He's a danger man. Seawolves, Seema behind the back. Suniula, second wave attack. Rasalika goes without it. Colina Sal, he also goes without it. Tries to put it on the toe. It's a comedy of errors. Pangelina thinks he's away. The referee is going to spoil the party and bring it all the way back for the original knock on.
Mark, I wasn't sure what was happening. The ref had his advantage up. He wasn't sure, you know, and the players weren't sure. It looked like he was going to let that play on, but there were 2 knock-ons, so he should have called that back.
Yeah.
The first knock-on coming in from Seattle, of course, going back to Houston, and then the second one from Houston. So here you're going to have a look at it. This nice little offload there from Kellen Gordon going in, and we're going to see the ball come out wide. And it's just unfortunate, but we're going to call that a second knock-on perhaps. That maybe was loose call, but yeah, nonetheless, we're back at the scrum, Houston's ball. And I would say that last phase of defense was pretty phenomenal by Houston, just standing tall, standing strong, and meeting that Seattle attack. You know, they're coming with intent right now, Seattle is, and Houston's standing very strong in their position on defense.
So Connor Murphy to feed. Oh, that Seattle scrum. They mean business in this second half. And they've earned themselves a penalty. Brilliant stuff. Let's go down the sideline again with Jessamine.
Guys, one of the things I've seen from this Seawolves team is a fiery attitude as they came out. Obviously an uncharacteristic first half for them, mistakes all over the board. And when it comes to on the field and on the bench, specifically Aladdin Shermer doing a lot of talking over here, trying to fire up his teammates and this crowd.
Thanks, Jessamine. Yeah, we're gonna have some energy coming in this second half. You can see it right away. Two of their bench players coming in, adding some big oomph to that scrum and winning that penalty.
So the Seawolves now with the driving maul from the line out. They're so good at this. Edging their way up now. They're at 5 meters from the try line. Powerful movement for the Seawolves. Much of this crowd on their feet, and they cheer for the try. Finally, after 45 minutes, the Seawolves finally score themselves a 5-pointer, courtesy of the rampaging forward pack, and what a driving maul.
And Jessamine called it, Mark. The energy is high from Seattle. The crowd's getting them going. But what I noticed here was they got the penalty. They could have gone for points. They could have taken the 3, get back. No, we're going for the line out. We're going to maul this in, and they did exactly that. And that's what they were missing in the first half. They were struggling to finish it. They were there knocking on the door time after time after time. You had the knock on in the try by Eric Duchel. You had a couple mishaps, inside that 5-meter zone. But here they're finishing it. So you feel the energy, but on top of that, you have the execution. And that's what they needed coming out of that halftime. So they've tied up the score 8-8 with the conversion to come. And so Houston, on the flip side, needs to regroup. They've been playing really good rugby. They've been really, setting the tone on defense. And so we said that early on, that first 20 minutes, are they going to be able to handle this sustained attack from Seattle, nonstop defense? And so it looks like it's wearing on them a little bit, but they've also shown, they've got what it takes here. So we're going to see after this conversion, is Seattle going to take the lead back from Houston?
Staller to break the deadlock. 8 points all after the equalising try. It's a wonderful strike. The crowd like it, as do the touch judges. The flags go up, and they have taken the lead back again after holding a very narrow, short-lived 3-0 lead early in the first half, but they've been trailing for the rest of the match until now.
One of those statement tries, Mark, where you come out of half fired up, and they needed that to happen. So let's see how this game pans out. I'm really looking forward to this chess match that's going on between Seattle and Houston. And so Seattle is electing to kick out of their 22. They're not messing around, so they're thinking maybe a little bit more of a territory game. Get out of their half, no penalties. Don't give Sam Windsor and his team, a shot at goal, because they have not spent a lot of time in their half. And so they're going to want to keep that, that going throughout the second half.
Houston with the throw. Being the most clinical at the line out. One down. Numbers in the middle. Connolly with some support from Neeson. Securing ball, double switch, Viti coming in, met heavily by the beast Duchel. Diva brought to ground. Wide pass now to Windsor, who finds the number 12 straight over the top, tries to thread the needle, but he can't, and Staller thinks he's away.
Number 2.
Let's get another comment from Jessman on the sideline.
Guys, I can tell you one guy who's champing at the bit to get back in here. It's Ali Khalifi, who did play 25 minutes in the International on Friday night, held out of this first half, but Richie Walker did tell me he would get significant playing time here. It looks like he's just waiting his time.
Yes, Ali Khalifi, wonderful player. 24 caps for the Eagles. He's played with the Seattle Saracens since 2012, and yes, he would be very, very keen to make his impact felt. As you mentioned, Kevin, a lot of experience, a lot of energy, just set to be released from the bench for the Seattle Seawolves team in the second half.
I kind of like the strategy Richie has right now. Is your cage the beast, you know, is in Ali Khalifi, and he's going to come bring a ton of energy, as he did with the U.S. team their past 2 test matches.
And just as we've been talking, just like that, SaberCats have reclaimed the lead through the boot of Sam Windsor.
Another 45-second sequence inside that half and 3 points away. Their efficiency right now is incredible from Houston, and they're just taking every advantage they get to score.
Just goes to show Seattle need to be on the mark with their discipline. Sam Windsor is 5th overall point scorer in this league, so you cannot afford to give him a sniff. He can kick it from almost anywhere.
No. No, you push earlier. Inside? Outside.
Box kick that has gained possibly 6 meters for the SaberCats.
You just had a fan have a little knock on themselves over here. The crowd wasn't too happy about it.
Well, it looks like these handling errors are infectious. Spread to the crowd as well.
You're never safe in Seattle.
Triawala gets that line out throw in and safely down. Around the bag, Rasalika comes in for the short pass by Suniula. Another mistake by the Seawolves.
No hands! Blue, no hands!
They are really piling in defense. These tackles
Blue, no advantage.
are monstrous.
Referees playing a little advantage there with that knock on, but Houston couldn't get the ball back. So just it's a really nice lineup from Seattle. They're setting up for the try line, you know, attacking type phase play there, set piece play, excuse me. But they just couldn't get the ball to hand. A little knock on, Houston turns it over. You see the ref there playing advantage, you know, really seeing if Houston could get that ball out and play, so they didn't have to blow up the scrum. But nonetheless, you know, Seattle got that ball after the knock on, and so he blows it back for the Houston scrum. And you're going to watch Houston see if they continue that trend. Just get it out of our territory. One phase, not even a phase, just kick it straight from hand. So let's see what if they're going to switch anything up here or continue with the.
Reset scrum.
And we talked about Ali Khalifi coming in. He's in now. Aladdin Shermer's in. Both guys going to bring a lot of energy. Some hard charging runners, some good defenders. You know, that scrum looks a bit beastly right now with that front row, and they're going to go for it. They're going to really probably go for Houston right here and try to push them back on the scrum.
Crouch!
Aladdin Shermer joins the party. 2 caps for the Eagles to his name. That's no mean feat to play for your country. As the SaberCats bring it away from their scrum. 25 meters out, goes back inside. This ball needs to stay in. Windsor takes to the air. Tiberio, brilliantly taken. And the Seawolves recycle around the corner. Hanning tries to get the offload away, and it's batted down. Hold up in that tackle. Will keep it alive. Isdale doing well. Thought he was going to get thrown over the sideline like a rag doll, but the Seawolves still have it. Through the hands now,
11 yellow
Sherma.
offside.
Got the penalty advantage.
11 offside.
Quick tap, not on the
My mark is
mark.
here. 11 offside.
Come
Yeah.
back.
One of those frustrating moments, right?
Penalties against Houston for not rolling away.
The second row there, Brad Tucker is trying to go quick, and the ref calls him back. You know, he was about 2 meters away from the mark, but still behind it. One of those things where you want to get going and get the team on the back foot there, the defensive team that is. And so, nonetheless, he calls it back, and they're going to go for points to regain the lead, potentially.
It's a back and forth at the moment, trading blows, these two teams.
I like what Houston's doing with their kicking game. Big high balls coming on, putting pressure, and they're giving Seattle no time when they catch that ball. You know, Pete Tiberio going up high for that one. Ben Seamus had two earlier this match. They're playing that perfect, both sides, truly. And so, you know, they're just waiting for Seattle to make a mistake under those, you know, high pressure situations.
So Brock Stoller, Major League Rugby's top point scorer. This would be his favored angle, being a right footer. Can bring it in toward the posts. Strikes, makes no mistake. Stoller has taken back the lead for the hosts. The Seawolves now, 13 points. Lead the visitors, the Houston SaberCats, 11. Wow, what a tightly contested affair we have here. Everyone on the edge of their seats here, Kevin Swearing.
Yeah, I don't know that everyone would have imagined this game to go like this, but it's turning out to be a barn burner. And here you see Houston putting a lot of pressure on the kickoff.
Well, inside.
It was.
Looking for the turnover, but Seattle holds on.
Beatty comes crashing through on the tackle. They've done actually extremely well to maintain possession. They're under pressure. Goes back, way back, almost to the try line. To Seema. Curling banana kick.
That's actually a pretty nice clearance from Ben with that angle, you know, 5 meters from the touchline to get almost 40 meters. You know, really actually a nice clearing kick. You know, you generally see that just outside the 22 with that angle. So good to relieve a little extra pressure, but also a great attacking position for Houston here. You know, they're running a 5-man line out, so they got a bunch of forwards out here in the back line. Watch them crash it up to their forwards.
Pato gets it in with a better throw. DP gets a lot of attention. Suniula comes over the top, finishing off with Sherma that had him low. Now back down the short side. Windsor looks to throw another ball over the top. He elects otherwise.
Release the ball,
He's turned it over, and I believe he has. So the Seawolves with the ball down the short side. Little kick in ahead. Here comes Stoller. Pangilinan forced onto his right foot. He clears. So it looks like a little momentum shift yet again.
All skills, Mark. I love it. I love it. Their second row, number 5, coming in with a little bit of a chip kick to the wing and puts pressure. And so, you know, hey, it could have been great, but it was still good nonetheless. And so it's Seattle's ball here with the line out, restarting the game.
Well, you mentioned clever play. Despite being a number 5, Bradley Tucker started playing rugby at 4 years old. So a very developed rugby brain. But it's turned over again. Illegally so.
You can see there the player's knees were on the ground, Mark, and so, you know, at that point, they have to release him. That's a tackle. That's an executed tackle. The defense has to release him, and they didn't. They stripped the ball at that time, so there's where you'll see the penalty. You know, great call, and unfortunately here for Houston, you know, they're putting pressure in that tackle area, and they just maybe didn't hear the referee or they didn't recognize the moment, and they're giving Brock Stoller another shot at 3 points.
Well, that's the danger, isn't it, Kevin, when you attempt to put pressure on at ruck time and tackle time to upset this Seattle Seawolves offense. You really flirt with danger. You're walking the tightrope of giving penalties away. And you don't want to do it in this part of the field. You've got, as we've mentioned many times already, Brock Stoller, the leading point scorer in the league, who eats these kicks up.
Well, and they were giving up these penalties in the first half, but it was more so in Seattle's territory, so they weren't getting the opportunities to score points, and so now you see them taking advantage of that. And so they got to be careful about flirting with that line too much, because they've done a phenomenal job for the first 60 minutes staying in the game by not giving up those mistakes.
Stoller stabs at it. Looked a little more rushed than usual. Get the full follow through.
High rotation break.
So that concludes the third quarter. Players are going to take a short 1-minute hydration break. We'll be back with you shortly.
Not anything. Yeah. Yeah. No, two-taker came.
Fresh blood coming in, I can. I'm sorry. Oh, you don't mind that it's up, is what you said. Okay, I'm sorry, I got a little nervous there.
And welcome back to Starfire Sports Stadium. 13 points to 11. It's a tight match here. The Seattle Seawolves with a narrow lead over the Houston SaberCats.
Time on.
What an amazing game. Who would have thought the SaberCats would make such a nuisance of themselves? The crowd here, sellout crowd at that, is on the edge of their seat as we get underway in this fourth and final quarter of the match. Seawolves playing with intent. Early on, they managed to get back the lead, which they had not had for so long since the first 5 minutes of the match. Putting it through the hands, that ball goes wildly to no one. Hutton couldn't find the mark, but Deschelt gets back, cleans it up. Now, and back to the middle of the field. Seema with the kick over the top, turning around. Sequoia Burke-Coombs, and he does a great job at that.
Pretty rugby, Mark. I would, you kind of love that feeling where you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 phases, and then you find it, right? They're trying to move the defense. They're trying to get that back three to kind of pendulum motion and then get them out of position, and they found that. Ben recognized that. Ben Seema did. Kicks it over the back, the head of the wing there, puts it in behind. So 40 meters of gain territory through that kick.
Pat O'Toole is forced to throw the ball in under a barrage of chanting by this home crowd. Seattle Seawolves known for the fortress that they've created here. Very intimidating place for any visiting team to come and play rugby. Wonderful support and community has been created by the Seattle Seawolves organization.
Seawolves line up.
And the SaberCats doing their best to get out of their territory.
That was a beautiful box kick by Connor Murphy there to gain close to 40 meters, 35 meters of territory, get it out into touch so there's no counterattack. And they've actually done that all game, Mark, is eliminate the counterattack, the dangerous play that Seattle brings by kicking everything into touch. They haven't missed touch once, and or they're putting up those high balls and putting a lot of pressure on.
Well, that ball was not in straight. We could see that right in front of us.
Captain. Scrum or line out?
Replacement hooker on that occasion. Let's have a look. That's
Looks like they had a little bit of a switch to the lineup there. Stefan came in and subbed out Dan Trudeau there. Uncharacteristic there. It's a tough spot to be in. You come in the middle of the game and throw in your first line out. So hopefully he gets his bearings and back on track.
I'm glad I have a Seattle local in the commentary booth with me. Correct our errors, and that's a beautiful spiraling flat pass to Pangelin, but he was slammed to the ground and lost the ball in the process.
It's a big hit by the second tackler on defense there from Seattle and just jarred that ball loose from Zach. Like you said, Mark, beautiful flat pass, missed pass. Zach Pangelin coming in on a hard line. It looked beautiful. He just needed to hold on to the ball a little bit. And you see that perfectly timed pass. It's like throwing a pass to a wide receiver on a slant route. No strides broken, but unfortunately Zach, drops the ball there. It would have been good, take that gain line over from them, and could have come around the left side there, but anyway.
I'm sorry, a wide receiver on a what?
On a slant route? You don't know?
Australian, mate. Of course I don't know. Kev, obviously you used to play American football before switching to rugby, that's correct?
Yes, yeah. I played a little receiver in my day, but now sometimes I just mix the terms back and forth, yards and meters and touchdowns and try lines. And we got a player down here, it looks like, Mark, number 5 here from Houston, the captain, Matt Truville, who actually used to play in Seattle, captained the Seattle Saracens for a number of years here. Also another Aussie, but has played for America. In fact, was in the 2015 World Cup squad for the U.S. Captain of the Houston SaberCats now. A lovely, lovely human. We've got a lot of time for Matt Truville.
Let's go, Holly. Set.
As do I. Actually, from my part of Sydney, Sutherland Shire. And now the Seawolves looking to make some inroads. Back to the middle.
Got it.
Suniola makes a break. Straight through the middle on the angle.
Okay.
Through the hands. Little kick through by Kutsia. And it'll come back for a penalty.
Back to penalty.
So the Seawolves looking dangerous at the moment, Kevin.
Offside line.
Well, you had Shalom coming in. Here's the replay. You're going to see Ben with a Shalom coming hard line, and he just couldn't get his footing. He is known for his footwork, so it's surprising that he tripped himself up there. But sometimes this hard turf can get you, and you slip a little bit. So, but that was a beautiful one. Hopefully he's fine there. He's getting a little treatment, but hopefully he didn't actually injure himself.
Can you kick?
So far this weekend, 4 matches across the Major League Rugby competition. This is match number 3, 1 more to go tonight, but we already saw New York make easy work of Utah away, 47 points to 21 in the snow in Salt Lake City. And Austin did their best, made a nuisance of themselves against Glendale, but Glendale were just too strong in the end at Infinity Park, taking that one 38 points to 19. And yet again, we find ourselves with Brock Staller with another penalty kick attempt. 43 meters out, directly in front. It's a better strike from Brock. It's toward the right, upright, but it shades it, so just on the outside. Misses 2 in a row, Staller.
And grimacing a little bit after that kick. I'm wondering if he's got a little bit of a twinge of, say, an adductor or a hamstring or something going on, but you just don't know. Hopefully he's feeling,
yellow.
hopefully he's feeling okay. As you see a couple of subs coming on for Houston. Looks like number 22, Christopher John Saint.
Windsor with the 22 restart. It's contestable. Comes down, bobbles around.
First and
Two
second.
knock-ons. That's why the
Back
referee
to
didn't
first.
allow Pat O'Toole to run away with that ball. And Kevin, we mentioned before, beautiful conditions, sunny day, somewhat warm, around 50-odd degrees, but as that sun disappears, and it gets very chilly here at Starfire Stadium this time of year.
Yeah, it's going to cool off, and the game's actually slowed down the last 5 or 6 minutes. So, you know, the players, you know, adrenaline and heart rates are coming down a little bit. Can they lift that back up, right? The game slowed down, a lot of set piece, a lot of, you know, stoppages here. So let's see if they can get the game rolling again and get the energy levels up, because we got 15 minutes of pretty hard-out rugby that's about to happen.
2 points in it here, folks. Starfire Sports Stadium, the Fortress. Vithi coming in for the SaberCats. He's been busy all game. Continues on 7-star. You can do that as long as he releases the ball, got to his feet, picked it up and kept going. Clever thinking by the Fijian winger. Turnbull then getting his hands on the ball. The big men of the SaberCats getting themselves up and over the advantage line. Turnbull again with a high work rate. Windsor, dummy, skips the pop pass to Pangilinan coming in. Clever play by the SaberCats.
No.
Equally well defended. Windsor behind the back. Colin Sal, haven't seen much of him in the second half. Vithi battering his way up over the 22-meter line. Ball pops up quickly. Just taking it in. Counter up from the Seawolves, unsuccessful. Nieto charging forward. Diva again. Plenty of carries by this Houston forward pack. The Seawolves think they've turned it. No, we'll come back. Murphy digs in, penalty right in front. Sam Windsor shouldn't have any problem with this.
The ball was there, Mark. You know, it's really tough as a player when you're right there. You see the ball. You're like, this is mine, and you've been under sustained pressure. But you heard the referee. He said, no, and he's talking to the player. So you're getting that direction. You really have to be tuned in. It's so hard sometimes. You're breathing. Your energy's high, and all you want to do is turn that ball over. But you know, unfortunately for Ollie there, he didn't hear the ref. He thought he had the open go.
And no means pretty much the same thing in French as well, Kev, as you know. They should have understood that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. In almost any language, right? No means no. So anyway.
So Windsor. Under the booing sounds of the crowd. Picture of concentration, makes no mistake. And the lead changes yet again in this second half. 14 points to 13 in a thriller here at Starfire Sports Stadium. That is a mouthful. The Triple S, they call it. Well, no, they don't call it. I just called it that.
Let's see if this crowd can lift up these Seawolves. They're up and standing and cheering for them. So we're gonna watch Houston. Big charge down.
Coming through. Oh, luckily Trouville just gets a boot to that. I think it was Esdale coming through on the inside. Might have been Shermer as well. Couldn't quite get their hands on it. Just
right now, the referee's asking his touch judge, his assistant referee on the sideline here, are you sure? Are you sure that's Houston's ball? It looked like 5 Trouville kicked it out, but it must have come off the Seattle player, you know, trying to get the ball. So instead of Seattle's ball, it's Houston's, and they're going to try to relieve some pressure here.
Yeah, that looked like a high tackle there. Let's see if the ref picked it up or the AR. Play on. Murphy sends it up and over the sideline. So off the hook there, the SaberCats. Going to go quickly. No, referee won't allow it.
Call your player, please.
Boys, on me. Mark's ready.
So there you see the amazing charge down from Sequoia, and it's too hard to see whether they would have had that. And Seattle's got the energy. The crowd's fueling them right now, Mark, and they're coming out hard. They're running hard lines at the defense here of Houston. They need to double up, tackle, and sustain against this attack.
Keeping it simple now, just keeping it tight through Shermer. Arm is out, playing advantage. The beast, crowd are on their feet. They can feel something special brewing. Seawolves, strong running. Here they come, the Seawolves. The crowd are vocal. Khalifi tries to turn. Looks like he might be over the try line. Referee is right there.
No try.
And he calling held up. Here goes the quick tap from JP Smith. So the Seawolves trailing by a point. They're 3 meters out. Quick hands out to Esdale. He dives for the corner. Referee has no hesitation but to call the try. My mistake and my excitement. I'm calling Esdale. It's actually Burke Coombs. He's had a great game too. Sequoia, thank you, Kevin Swearing. We're jumping up and down in the booth here.
We're kind of laughing and pointing at names on the script, but Sequoia Burke Coombs comes in here. That was, I was surprised, to be honest, that they quick tapped at that moment. Here we're 70 minutes, into the game. Down by a point only. They could have used Brock, so maybe Brock does have a little bit of a niggly injury and he's not feeling it right now. So the angle would have been tough, but you see him lining up nonetheless to kick these points. So they just wanted to go. They really felt that they wanted to go for it, and somewhere in the back of their minds they could be thinking 4 tries, Mark, bonus point type victory. They need that to get above into that top 4 kind of ranking, and so maybe that's part of the mentality of the Seawolves too, is seeing if they can get a few more tries on the board.
We are currently at 73-45. Okay.
Sequoia Burke Coombs, 25 years of age. Dots down over the corner. Tough angle now for Staller. And that's a lovely strike. It's curling in. Will it get around all the way? The flags go up. It does. Wonderful kick to add the extras. Brock Staller.
He really made up for those 2 previous misses. That was a beautiful one. And you see the quick tap from JP. He really thought he could get in himself, and that's why he's making that decision. But they stay calm and collective. And you only had 1 defender there. 2 guys off the side there, and we're able to sneak in for a try through Sequoia Burke Coombs.
That's right. Should have been Esdale defending that one, not scoring that one. Sequoia. Try, and the beast gets a deflection, and now it's just going to be the afterburners. They won't stop him. Back-to-back tries. The crowd love it. Eric Deschel, take a bow.
You called it, Mark. First half, he knocks on that try, and we said it. Is he going to have another opportunity? He did, and guess what? He finishes that. What a beautiful finish that was. 3 SaberCats in pursuit, and that's a tough one because you're running at different angles than they are. So to keep that acceleration, to keep that pace, and still get to the finish line was incredible by Eric Deschel. What a finish! And sir, you made that first half, Aaron. You made up for it with that spectacular try. And it really started from the beginning. The kick, and the chase, and the pressure that led for him to be able to recover that kick. Now he's just got to catch his breath after that burner.
Staller.
Yeah. On this line, come on.
Take this lead to 27 points
mate.
to 14. Under 5 minutes now to play.
It's 1 minute 30.
And this is the prototypical Seawolves team where you put pressure, maybe nothing comes of it, but then there's going to be an explosive play. There's going to be 3 explosive plays that happen with quick tries, quick hitter tries is kind of their MO, and they're really bringing it here at the tail end of the game. Out of nowhere, up by 13 points.
Sam Windsor gets us underway, running out of time now. The SaberCats, all of a sudden they've just had that lead whisked away from them.
Taken back.
And now they have a small mountain to climb as the Seawolves are looking on fire right now. Inside pass to Tiberio, doesn't go to hand. Referee is playing on. What a break from Barton. And now up over the 22, the Seawolves, can they make it 3 tries in a row? Kaliki's going to do his best. If he has anything to say about it, they will. Dummy gives the pop. No, he doesn't. Holds on. Gives it a second time to Seamer. It's gone backwards. The Seawolves looking to close out this game once and for all, but it was finally brought back.
Number 17, knock on.
It was a knock on. Exciting stuff here.
Loving the entrepreneurial style of rugby that the Seawolves are playing, and they really truly are going for the, as you see, a little ruffle buffle, you know, jersey punching, maybe a little sly comment or two, just to agitate the other team. It's got to be frustrating for Houston. They played a really good game of rugby, and they see themselves falling behind 13 points when they really could be in the lead here, and so you know, you might see a little bit more of that in the last few minutes.
Let's hear from Jessman down on the sideline about this scrapping play.
Yeah, guys, it's been that kind of game all day long where they have been going back and forth, former teammates going at each other, knowing how to get up under each other's skins here. But Houston's energy has spilled over into frustration. As you just mentioned, they've played a fantastic game of rugby, all of a sudden to watch it take away at the end.
15.
There's plenty of feeling in this match, Kevin.
And you watch the slow-mo here, Brad Tucker with the big stiff arm, and I'll tell you what, game film review next week in Houston. You can have a go at that player, right? You know, that's a little bit, you know, in the face. So, oh well, he'll have a good laugh. He'll know next time that he can't be attacking a player like Brad up high.
Yeah. Perfect.
Really get that tackle low, or maybe swipe at that stiff arm to prevent the backseater.
Crouch.
Short break. We've had a replacement. Houston SaberCats. Murphy coming off for Aaron Schramm.
Number 1.
An all-important final minute.
Release, please. Thank you.
And you also have Scott Dean on the other side, number 23, coming in to round out the reserves. I think the Seawolves have offloaded the entire bench at this point.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
The SaberCats now coming out of their own try line. Up over 10 metres, earn themselves a penalty. They look to play quickly. And right now, this is important for the SaberCats at the moment. As it stands, they come away from this game with nothing. If they can get a score, perhaps not win the game, they will earn themselves a losing bonus point. Better than nothing.
Yeah, every point matters, right? So if they can get 1 point out of this match by losing by less than 7, that's actually that's a win. So that's what you'll see them. They really need to keep the ball. They need to keep possession. You know, more than just 3 or 4 phases. They're gonna go for it though. You might see this. And it's a turnover.
Another turnover at line-out time. They've struggled somewhat, the SaberCats, in that part of the field. An awkward fall there.
Knock on yellow.
Back, a little knock on at ruck time, so and a climax at the end.
Good play.
He's going to play the scrum. So the Seawolves, they've won this match and they might get the final say.
Time on.
You said, Kevin, every point matters. Well, Seawolves also, they might have won this match at full time. They are chasing that all-important 4-try bonus point as well.
Yeah, again, right, every point matters. So, you might not see these Seawolves team kick it straight out here. And if they don't, if they're going for it, then they're gonna try to go 50 to get that bonus point. Watch big, hard charging George Barton come down straight off the scrum here. Nope.
Seema puts it into the crowd. And that will be full time here, ladies and gentlemen. The Seawolves have done it after some very nervous moments. Crowd are happy. They had to wait a while because the Seawolves trailed for much of that game. And exciting stuff here. What a great finish. And after the break, don't go anywhere. We'll be back to talk to the man of the match.
Seawolves would like to thank all of our supporters of tonight's match. Washington Athletic Club, Seattle Southside Regional Tourism Authority, Virginia Mason, BECU, Elysian Brewing, Seattle Saracens, Rugby 100 Club, Ivers, Floor and Decor, Washington Federal, Lift, Window, and Fifth Avenue Law. Ladies and gentlemen, your man of the match stands given up for number 11, Sequoia Brooke Jones. Hey, join us right back here on Sunday, March 31st, for the second annual Special Olympics Washington and Law Enforcement Tour Run. We celebrate all of the great work these organizations do in our community. Here is the San Diego Legion travel north to take on your Seattle Seawolves.
Major League Rugby is brought to you by Aviva, a global leader in engineering and industrial software. Learn more about Aviva at aviva.com. And Baylor Sports Medicine is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Houston SaberCats. We know athletes because we are athletes. And Buffalo Specialties, you can dream it, we can create it. Well, it's full time here at Starfire Sports Stadium. Plenty of outstanding performances, but one in particular is from that man, the winger in the corner, Sequoia Burkoombs, changing the momentum of this game and putting it beyond doubt for the Seattle Seawolves. Had a great game, didn't he, Kevin?
He did. He was playing mostly highlights on defense there, but Sequoia came in to change the game, change the momentum, and he's with Jessamine.
And Jessica has Sequoia right now down on the sideline. Jessica.
Thanks, guys. Sequoia, it was an uncharacteristic first half for the Seawolves, and you know what halftime adjustments were made there?
Our main halftime adjustment was just to believe in the system we were playing and just to play our style. We were playing a little lax, and we just really came out here and just we want to pride ourselves in defense. We want to be the best defensive team in the conference. So we started with our defense, and then everything else pretty much opened up from there.
Your try was the second of back-to-back that really changed the momentum swing in this game. What were you guys seeing just in the last 10 minutes of this one?
We really knew if we came out hard the first 20, 30 minutes, the last 10 minutes, we'd really be able to open up with our conditioning. So once we got down there, we just wanted to wear them down, and that's exactly what we did.
Sure, the bye week helped with that one.
Oh, absolutely. The bye week was good. It gives us good time to mentally prepare and physically prepare. So yet again, a sold-out crowd, so couldn't ask for a more beautiful sight.
Yeah, speaking of that, 4 in a row. You guys remain undefeated this season at Starfire. Tell me a little bit about what these fans do for you.
It's an unreal experience. Even every team that comes here, one of the first things they tell us is how amazing our fans are. I mean, it could be a 200-person field, but, you know, the fact that we sell it out every game really gets everyone to buy in, and other teams look forward to that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. I'll let you go celebrate.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Well, thank you, Jessamine McIntyre. Not sure who Jessica is, but let's have a look at some of the highlights. Sequoia, Bert Coombs, man of the match, of course, and Kevin. Plenty of action here today.
Yeah, it was a really exciting first half. You know, not a lot of scores, but a lot of good rugby. And Houston came out playing stifling defense, picking, you know, their moments, and they only had a few in the first half, and it led into the second half where they were just super efficient. They didn't have a lot of opportunity, but Seattle's sustained attack was what was the difference maker in the end. They got the line out here in the first part of the second half, mauling it straight over, you know, and it really tumbled over after that. So, you know, they score the first try, they get another one right after that, and we saw a couple highlights from Sequoia. You know, Bert Coombs scoring the try in the corner, and he was a difference maker. You know, there were a couple penalties in between before those tries occurred, and Houston was really in it the whole game, and until those few tries were scored. So anyway, Houston battled. Seattle was meeting them man to man every moment of the game. And here you go. You see the try that turned it around, and Brock coming in from the sideline to slot the conversion. Really a beautiful kick. But this was pretty exciting moment too, where Eric Duchel got the opportunity to make up for his knock-on try in the first half. He collects a beautifully tapped back ball by Brock Stoller, and with everyone chasing him down, finishes it. And Brock puts away the last 2-pointer of the game. And Seattle, with the win at home, undefeated this year, another successful day at the office for those boys, and gonna go back to the drawing board to see how they can fix the first half issues.
Well, that concludes proceedings here at Starfire Sports Stadium. It's been an exciting match, and the Seawolves go out victors yet again. 4 home wins in a row for them. And for Kevin Swearin and the entire crew here at Starfire Sports Stadium, I'm Mark Stabina. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we'll see you next week. Seattle taking this one 27 points to 14. Have a good night.
Actually, someone just came by and said to keep the XM T box here or something. I don't know. To keep the XM T box, whatever.
So we'll just comment on each highlight and then you'll alternate and then
Okay.
you go in, I'll do the next. Okay.
Are we starting right now or are we going to look through it first? Okay, perfect. Okay.
Well, it was a night of thrills, spills, and entertaining rugby at Starfire Stadium in Seattle, Washington, as the host Seattle Seawolves were able to win 4 home games consecutively, 27 points to... Thank you. Okay. Okay. It was an entertaining night at... Sorry, start again. Wow, that's real quick now, just straight up. It was an entertaining night of rugby at Starfire Stadium with the Seawolves winning 27 points to 14 over the Houston SaberCats. Let's see how they did it. They took the early lead with a 3-point penalty kick from Staller.
And it was all Seattle early on, but Houston came out with a quick strike try off the set piece and a beautiful linkage there with the Vithi to Asea Kaleni-Sau. A nice try to put them up 5-3.
Plenty of work at the line-out time for Seattle, driving forwards, trying to regain that lead, inching toward the Houston try line. Of course, just coming up with the try.
They picked up the momentum after that try, but there were a couple penalties back and forth. Houston stuck in there. They were playing great defense, and they wouldn't go away. Brock coming back to repeat a couple earlier efforts, but it was here when Seattle started taking it away. Quick tap from the penalty. They still had the numbers on the left side. They slowed it down, but recognized it. Quick hands by the substitute, and Burke Coombs in on the corner, and that was the momentum changer.